Ladies and gentlemen, we've made it to another episode of Pickup Lines. It is, and still is, the talk show in a car. It's a little different car today, and I'll explain in just a moment, but I am thrilled to be joined by the general manager of North Park Lexus San Antonio, Jose Luis Contreras. Good to see you, sir.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much, Ernie.
So full disclosure, I think most of you who have seen this show over the months and years are used to the Lexus RZ that I've done the vehicle in, but as fate would have it, today you are hosting us here. And you wanted to put us in something a little bit different.
We're at Lexus. It seems fitting, right?
Okay.
I thought we'd change it up a little bit.
That's fair. That's fair. So what are we sitting in right now?
So, Ernie, this is one of the two very exciting new larger SUVs that Lexus has in its lineup over the course of the last year and a half. The Lexus is a 2025 Lexus TX 350. Comes in the 350 or the Lexus TX 500, 550. But it's unique because it is our largest SUV now.
Okay.
It's got the most third row legroom. Big families have been asking for something larger, and we've got it. Super popular, bringing a lot of new guests to Lexus.
Okay.
Guests that we hadn't seen before. And then, of course, a lot of our loyal owner base are enjoying and loving the additional space as well.
So if I want to have two more guests on Pickup Lines, we could do 4 or 5 guests.
We could bring 7.
Oh my gosh.
It's fantastic.
Okay. No, that's
Lexus
great.
TX, and they say it's because they named it the Lexus TX because everything's bigger in Texas.
Bigger in Texas, of course. Okay, very good. Well, I wanted to get that out of the way because you've been great to me. It's a beautiful vehicle, and I just love the car. But enough about that. I want to get to your story because I know you went to Central Catholic, and we'll get to all that here in just a little bit. But I always like to start with my guests from the very beginning, as far back as you can remember. Where'd you grow up?
Here, San Antonio.
What side of town?
Right in the Thomas Jefferson area.
Okay.
Where I did most of my growing up. Yeah.
What are your earliest memories of childhood in terms of the dynamic, just home life and those kinds of things?
You know, it was a different day back then.
Yeah.
And I don't want to make it sound like it was too long ago.
You're not that ancient, Jose. Come on.
But it was, and there was a day where you pal up with your buddies from school, and you can go and you ride bikes, and mom and dad didn't know necessarily how far you went or where you were.
They couldn't track you with GPS.
There was no Life 360.
Nope.
And I feel for my kids. And but it was a different deal. But those are the fond memories of growing up. Truly playing in the front yard and just taking off and having a good time. And many of those friends I still love dearly today. And it's just that's what takes me back, I guess, to that neighborhood.
I was telling somebody something similar the other day, how I kind of miss the innocence of those days. I mean, it's ludicrous. It almost seems ludicrous now to think that you would be unsupervised and your parents couldn't track you and you had no smartphones or internet.
We used to ride in the back of the truck.
And we rode in the back of the truck.
You'd fight for the hump.
Unbuckled, maybe sometimes.
Right. It's a different world.
And we came out okay, right?
I think so.
For the most part.
Right.
What's your earliest memories of loving cars? You're obviously in the car business. When did that start for you?
It was a little bit on accident. It wasn't something that I set out to do.
Right.
But a dear friend of mine kept calling and saying, "Hey, you've got to take a look at this opportunity. This is fantastic." And so eventually I did. I happened to find myself after completing my MBA, getting ready to relocate potentially to Austin and work.
Right.
And he said, "Hey, you want to take a look at this?" And I said, "Maybe." And by the time I came and visited with a few folks, they put the quack on me, and they got me.
The rest is history.
The rest is history.
But did you grow up what was your first car? Did you grow up a car guy, a gearhead, or whatever they call?
No, I was not a gearhead. Thank God I've got them that working for me because they can answer the tough questions. But my first car was a 1979 Mercury Monarch.
Yes.
And when we first bought it, it was, or I guess when my father first bought it for me, it was one color. Then I think my sister got a hold of it, and then it became about 5 different colors. And so yeah, I had the typical, doing it right, having appreciation for what you're capable of owning, in high school, and that's what it was.
Yeah. Are your parents still around?
Yes, I'm very blessed and fortunate to have them both still around and speak to them daily, see them daily, and they're fantastic.
What kind of influences did they give you, or did you get? Do you favor your mom or your dad in terms of just how you are? Or?
Yeah, both. Sincerely, both. My father, he taught me about work ethic, and he taught me about, you come into this world with what's in your hands, and you leave this world with what's in your hands, and so it's all about the name you make and the integrity you preserve and that sort of thing. And my mom, who is a social butterfly, just really, I believe that I took on her ability to be able to be in front of people and to enjoy it, and so the combination of the two, and it have really just set me up, I think, for something positive.
Well, in your line of work, I would imagine you're in front of a lot of people all the time, so that helps.
It definitely, certainly, it's every day, it's nonstop, and I love that.
Yeah.
Some fault me for saying that I should quit giving my cell phone out to everybody, but everybody's got it, and
I have it. That's true. I do have it.
It's a challenge, every year it becomes a little bit of a bigger and bigger challenge trying to get back in touch with everybody, but it's important, and I love that. I want to be accessible to my client base and all the friends and the relationships that I've established over time, and so I do my best.
Yeah.
Try to keep that up.
No, I get it. It's a delicate balance. I get it for sure. So you mentioned you grew up in the Jefferson area.
I did.
But you did not go to Jefferson High School.
Didn't, no. So Dad went to Central Catholic.
Okay.
He was class of 64. His older brother also went to Central, and subsequently my cousins, his sons, and myself, and now I've got my sons there.
Yeah.
And so it's a true legacy within our family. Very involved with the school now, especially now that the boys are back.
Right.
And we just, I'm just a big believer in the brotherhood and what it stands for and what it does, and just a fine institution. And I truly believe it's potentially never been run better than it is right now.
And we're next door neighbors. I mean, KSAT 12, we're literally,
That's it.
I get out of my car to go to work every day, and the first thing I see is a Central Catholic building.
Love it, right?
Yeah.
Love it. It's historic.
Yeah, very good. All right, we're just getting started here with Jose Luis Contreras. We are here at North Park Lexus San Antonio on this beautiful afternoon. We'll have more coming up after a short break, so don't go away. Hi, back here on Pickup Lines with Jose Luis Contreras, we were talking about Central Catholic and the brotherhood, school that's been around forever. I went to a private high school, so I get it. How did Central shape you and some of the things that you still use today from your time, those 4 years there?
Very formidable set of 4 years, I think, for all of us at that particular age.
Class of 90, right?
Class of 1990.
Okay.
And it's important because we're so impressionable at that age that you've got support around you that is making certain that you're learning the right things, and that you're obviously a lot of what you bring into the school from your family home, your family life is going to be important, and that's what's going to really you're going to take into the long run of your life. But the school itself, making sure that as you transition from a young man into adulthood, or I should say from young boy into a young man,
right.
That they're doing everything they can to instill values. That what I like to preach is all centered around serving your community. We're going to teach you how to be leaders. But we're going to instill in you that your responsibility as a leader, we're going to teach you how to be successful, but that is important that once you become successful, you have the qualities and the understanding of how to give back and how to be involved in community and how to serve with the servant's heart, and do those things that are important. So, and that is paramount number one. It's your academics are of course extremely important, your college prep.
Yes.
But equally as important is your dedication and learning that you're doing a community service.
You went to Notre Dame?
Did.
Which is not an easy school to get into. I mean, academically, you have to be pretty good, right, to get in.
You got to do okay.
Yeah, right. A little bit better than okay. What was that experience like? Was that always on your radar growing up, the Irish?
It wasn't. They been to Catholic University, to Catholic institutions. They would come to San Antonio, and of course, they would recruit at Central. And a buddy of mine, we were all on the swim team together. Yeah. And says, "Hey, we got to go check this deal out."
Right.
And so we went, and the rest was history from there. Didn't swim a day. Had to work. Had to pay a pretty hefty tuition bill at Notre Dame. But that's kind of what sprung it on. And to this day, it's really more of a not just where you went to school, but it's a way of life, a lot like Central.
So I mean, you talk about financing or your college. My parents put 3 kids through private high school, and it wasn't until many years later when I was adult that I could fully appreciate what they did from a financial. And I wonder if your parents struggled or if that was a struggle to put you through Central.
It was definitely a commitment. I was blessed. We a little bit from my father, a little bit from my mother. a little bit from myself, and a little bit from the university. And with that four-legged deal helped put it together and made it palatable.
Yeah.
There was a story that I had heard later in life when my father said he just wasn't sure how he was going to pull it off. And at one point he was determined to we're going to find a way and we're going to make it happen. And we did. And so it was a commitment. It was a deal. And of course that was back in the 90s.
Sure.
It's a little different today.
I remember thinking private school tuition was expensive in the 90s.
For real.
And it hasn't gone down since then.
No. It's quadrupled.
Yes.
At a minimum.
Oh.
It's insane.
Yeah. So when you finish your run at Notre Dame, were you always going to come back to San Antonio?
Yes, I think so. I think I knew that. And I worked in Chicago for almost 3 years prior to returning to San Antonio, but it was good to get back home. Definitely great to see the world a little bit and to get out there, especially at that age, and to do different things. But yeah, it was good to come home.
Were you doing cars in Chicago?
No. I was, interestingly enough, I was running about at a very young age. I look back on this, and I certainly thought I was some sort of hotshot. But I was running 6 or 7 grocery stores.
What?
Fresh out of college, yeah. And it was a private label deal, so they weren't huge stores, but Aldi Foods, and some people may know about
I'm
it.
very familiar with
Got
Aldi,
it.
sure.
Right. So,
well, that's no small feat.
it was fun, but basically I had that role, and it was one of the higher paying roles coming out of school, and so I was real proud of it because I had a company car and a pager.
Yeah. A beeper / pager.
There you go.
Like young kids, ask your parents about that.
Right, exactly.
You go call. Excuse me, hold on. I have a call coming in real quick. Let me check.
Let me
Yes.
check on
Okay.
that.
Okay.
Right,
I'll call them back.
Right.
God, those were the days.
Those were the days.
I had a pager early in my TV career, and I thought I was just Mr. Cool and
Yeah,
everything.
right. No question.
But since San Antonio was kind of tugging at your heart to come back.
It definitely was, and was happy to get back. And I went over to UTSA, got into the MBA program, and completed that. Worked in the hotel business for a little while, which was my mom's career and what she had done.
Okay.
And then fell into Lexus world.
Yeah, and you haven't looked back. Did you just celebrate, or are you celebrating 25 years?
25 years I've been with the organization. That's right. The store is celebrating. Well, just this last year, celebrated 30 years.
Wow.
And my personal involvement, 25.
That's amazing.
Last February.
Which is part of, so people might not be familiar with the K. Legato group. North Park Lexus kind of falls underneath that.
Yes, exactly.
Umbrella, if you will.
Yep. So many people locally have heard of Clarence Kalik.
Sure.
A phenomenal man to work for. And my partner down today.
Right.
And he's just given me so much opportunity. The company that we're blessed to be a part of, there's no fear to proclaim its tie to Catholicism and Christianity. We've got a cross up in all of our showrooms, which we're fortunate enough to be able to do as a family-owned franchise. And specifically out of his now 14 rooftops, I help him with the 3 Lexus stores. And
this is Dominion, North Park,
Lexus.
And then you have one in the Valley.
Yep, and then one in RGV. That's right. So
you go back and forth sometimes?
Do a lot, quite a bit. So I still have a big presence in San Juan is officially where the store is.
Okay.
But we refer to it as all of Lexus RGV, Rio Grande Valley.
Yeah.
So as far down south as South Padre Island up towards Mission, we cover that vast entire area. And then in San Antonio, we've got, of course, the original, I call it the OG store that we're sitting at right now.
Stone's throw away from North Star Mall and the big boots and everything.
And then the big, beautiful Taj Mahal that Clarence built at Lexus at Dominion.
At Dominion, yeah. Pretty cool stuff here.
Yes, sir.
When you started here, in your wildest dreams, did you think 25 years later you'd still be holding an office in here?
I guess maybe I kind of did. Because I bought off on the opportunity and what it could mean. It was, especially at that age, trying to decide what you're going to do, where you're going to go.
Yeah.
And, I'm getting back from Chicago in San Antonio and finishing the degree, the master's. I was really thinking through, what am I going to do? And when I jumped in, I thought, what better opportunity? Because I was fresh. I was at the beginning of things. I wasn't starting over anywhere really. And, but what I bought into was the company itself, the dynamic, the character of the company, but the longevity and the promise of what you could earn and what you could do. So it was honestly in my sights very early on as to what to try to accomplish. Um, this business is a little tough because the industry itself, especially when you go back several decades, three,
Right.
4 decades,
Right.
hasn't exactly made the best name for itself. The car business is, not exactly
I
what
hear it.
people are going to school to aspire to do. Some do, but the industry itself, and even over a lot of years, hasn't catapulted itself out of its old school way of doing things.
Right.
But I learned early on, Ernie, that all I've got to do is do it the right way,
Uh-huh.
personally for me, and do it to where it feels good for my guests, and I could take customers that would come in that you've never met before that
Yeah.
are nervous about the car
Right.
experience, and they'll come in like
Yeah, yeah,
this,
yeah.
and then you take them to open arms because you're working that relationship, and you're sincere about it,
Yeah.
and I figured out quickly that you can stand way apart from the rest of the industry. And then doing it specifically with an organization
Right.
that already begins to do that, it's been a good formula for me.
Yeah.
And to this day, it is the bedrock of how I govern the three luxury
Very good.
rooftops for Clarence.
Quarter of a century later, and still more to come here. And we have more to come here with Jose Luis Contreras on Pickup Lines. So go away. We'll be right back. A few more minutes here with Jose Luis Contreras, who runs not one, not two, but three Lexus dealerships here and in the Rio Grande Valley. Do you remember the first car sale you ever made?
I do. And it was a wonderful couple. And, they came in and it was fumbling through, you're green, right? And
Yeah.
and I will tell you that I felt like I was adequately trained because unlike most deals where you show up and they just kind of throw you in the deep end of the pool, there was some methodical planning that went into this. And I felt pretty good about my capabilities and, let's knock this out. But we did, and we got after it. And and the guest was extremely happy, and to this day is always calling up, saying hello,
Okay.
and have bought multiple Lexus since over
There you
time.
go.
And there's not any kind of crazy story that goes with that first sale, but how do you forget it?
Sure. Yeah, no, absolutely. You touched earlier about your time at Central Catholic, Notre Dame, obviously, and just being a man of faith, in your personal life and in your work life. And I wonder how much that's driven you in over the years when life gets tough or, challenges come your way, how much you lean on your faith and do it in a public way sometimes.
No question. Perseverance is everything. But if you've got a support system that's there for you,
Yeah.
You need it, right? I'm blessed to have my best friend, my wife, there for me. Cassie is just phenomenal. So when I need some picking up, she's got me.
Yeah.
And so that's key. My big family, my large family is there for us. Is second. But faith really does get involved, right? And you ask yourself sometimes, why, and but more often express a lot of gratitude.
Yeah.
It shaped me definitely. Yeah. And as a father, it's important that I'm doing the best I can to do that with smaller minds as well.
And you've got the work-life balance thing down pretty good?
No, I really don't. I'm going to say.
I'm still working on it too.
Right. I definitely work quite a bit.
Yeah.
And I will tell you what I do think is down, though, is the understanding of that. And so when I do have time, then we try to make it as meaningful as possible.
Yeah.
And so it's all family oriented. Outside of an occasional Lexus deal where Cassie and I will go off by ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
for the most part, what I do recognize, especially with my older kids, is how fast time goes.
Sure.
And so now I'm down to just two in grade school, and it's just I feel like I'm blessed that I've still got them. I've still got a few years in front of me
because it goes like
but
that.
I know how fast it's going to
go.
It
goes like that.
It's
I don't
insane.
have to tell you
Sure.
that and everything.
Sure.
I wonder how often you've thought about just the state of the auto business, and I'm not here to get into politics or all of that, but I just wonder, given the landscape and 25 years later, do you have a crystal ball where you can see the future of auto sales and the automotive industry and just what you do for a living? what it might look like?
Let me tell you. So there's all sorts of answers that can come with that. To begin with, a crystal ball in car world is tough, especially lately. But we could write a book, right? You think you're going to go off one direction, and perhaps the administration changes, and now it's another direction. But the best part about it is the resiliency. I'm blessed with the product that we've got. The fact that it's the Toyota company and Lexus brand finds itself stable. And then secondly, we're in Texas, and while the East Coast and the West Coast fluctuates, or business is a little bit more elastic to change. In Texas, man, it just kind of stays steady. It's pretty fantastic. So a lot of that really helps us when turmoil might happen. You might remember back, and we lived through cash for clunkers.
Yes,
we lived through 2008, the tsunami
the
in
recession,
2011.
all those things,
all sorts of different things. And now we've got tariffs. But
does that make you nervous?
No, it doesn't. I will tell you, nobody likes it, right? It's obviously something that we're all going to have to deal with. But Toyota has pumped their chest a little bit and talked about how, look, we're a company that can hold its breath longest. And so we're not going to disrupt the flow of inventory. We're not going to hammer the franchises with additional cost that eventually gets spread to the guest and the consumer. They're taking it on the chin. And the Japanese have been very, very good about going with the flow. And so when the deal was struck here not too long ago, and we're now at 15% only tariff. Right. It's a sigh of relief. Who would have thought that was coming, right?
Because others have it worse.
Right. That's right. Yeah. And so we're very, very blessed. It's been very little disruption, and so while we know that there's going to have to be some adapting that we need to do, for the most part, it's fairly seamless. Yeah. So it's good.
Okay.
It's really good.
Very good. Very good. I'm always fascinated, kind of what you just hear in closing about, people. We've all had challenges and things we've overcome over the years. You talked about perseverance earlier, and I wonder if you have a personal or professional challenge, something you've overcome over the years that has helped to shape you and make you the person that you are, that kind of inspired you, or where you really had to dig deep to overcome that.
We run a very fast-paced business here. A lot of even some of our sister stores sometimes think that, gosh, you're so fortunate. You've got the best brand. You guys kick back, sip Mai Tais, and make it happen. The reality is that my mentor all these years, who was running this operation, who brought me up, and I've since still work with him on several levels as a partner. But it was a grind. It was a tough gig, and there was a lot of teaching that was involved. And so overcoming what we did and achieving the levels that we did consistently involved a lot of work, a lot of time, and a lot of perseverance. And so, if you ask me if I had one in particular moment, I think I'm blessed that I don't have that one in particular moment that I necessarily had to overcome. But that was a consistent moment for a lot of years, and we did it, and it definitely shaped me, and it gives me the knowledge to lead my staff, and to do what I need to do, and carry this playbook forward, and it works. Look, at the end of the day, so long as it transcends into the guest experience, that's what it's all about. And we really, really work so hard, not only at our business but at doing it the right way for everybody. There's no corner to cut. There's no shortcuts. We have to get after it. We got to get work done, and let's go.
I could say on a personal level, I have seen that, and I know you mean that when you say that, and you do walk the walk as well as you talk the talk. So I think it's fascinating. I hope here's to 25 more years, maybe.
Yes, sir. I ain't going anywhere.
Is that a Central Catholic ring, by the way?
That is my Notre Dame ring.
Oh, Notre Dame. Okay,
yes,
well,
sir.
I thought I was looking for green and gold. That Notre Dame. Okay, that's pretty nonetheless. It's a good-looking ring.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time, your support, and everything.
Ernie, we appreciate you.
Not a shabby car. I don't know. I might have to upgrade here pretty soon. Thank you, Jose.
We got you covered.
I know you do. There's another episode of Pickup Lines. We appreciate it. You just never know who's going to be in here, what kind of stories are going to come out, but they're always inspiring, and we appreciate Jose being with us here today. So until next time, thanks so much for watching. I'm Ernie Zuniga. We'll see you.
Thank you, Ernie.